Good morning, good afternoon and good evening from wherever you may be in the world, and welcome to Sunday race day here at the Sachsenring. We start off today with qualifying, though the second qualifying of the weekend to determine the starting grid for race number 1 today for the NXT Gen Cup, race number 3 of the weekend. 8 track sessions we had this weekend. We've had 2 practice sessions on Friday already. We had 3 sessions yesterday. Qualifying and 2 races, and let's talk about qualifying yesterday. It was quite a messy one. We had a red flag and a full course yellow for both cars, for cars in the gravel, that was, for both of them. So let's hope we have a cleaner session today and the drivers can get their lap in. Qualifying has just started. It will be 20 minutes long, 18 minutes left of that. It was a good qualifying yesterday with newcomer and rookie to the series, Niklas Bever, taking his maiden pole position in the first qualifying he did. Qualifying on debut, only one driver has ever done that, and he's driving this weekend as well. It's Lucas Stiefelhagen. He did that last year when he competed at Knutstorp. So only 2 drivers have taken pole on debut, and Niklas Bever added himself to that list yesterday. We're looking at the 21 of Siri Högfeldt and the 12 of Philip Bartosz, the Osborne Hus car and the Alpha 1 car. Those 2 looking for an improved qualifying compared to yesterday. Have to improve. Field yesterday was quite shaken up. You could see in especially the last race contact in qualifying. That's Victor Nielsen into the back of, who's that, the 24? My goodness. Kelvin de Groot. That's not ideal. Kelvin de Groot has changed car for today, it looks like. He was in the orange car yesterday, but the number 24 in the ABB car for today. Engineers did have a look at his car yesterday. It was about 3-4 kilometers down in the straight line, even in the slipstream. So that's probably one of the main reasons why he's changed car, but that doesn't help. Victor Nielsen into the back of his championship contender, Kelvin de Groot. The championship that's been heating up over the weekend. That gap coming into the weekend was 46 points. Gap is down to 30 with still 2 races to go today. And everything can happen in a championship this close. 30 points for a victory. So with a win today, Victor Nielsen could put himself on top of that championship if Kelvin de Groot has a bad race. Some bad luck in the form of either an off or some contact with another driver. Those 2 usually work together pretty well in the qualifying. But we saw this last year as well. As soon as you run to the end of that championship, starts to all become real. Drivers start to give each other just that little bit less room. First lap times are coming in. Lucas Stiefelhagen takes provisional pole after that first lap, but no representative lap so far. We did a 41.5 yesterday. That was a pole position time. 43.1 at the moment, the provisional pole time for Lucas Stiefelhagen. And I am happy to say that I was alone in the commentary booth. However, Fredrik Lestrup, the founder of the series, has got himself stuck underneath his wheelchair, or underneath his chair, with the cable of the headset. But he's with me for the qualifying session now. Fredrik, a good sprint over here, but qualifying has started. Lucas Stiefelhagen once again on the provisional pole position. Welcome. First of all, qualifying 2 for today, what do you think is going to be different compared to yesterday?
I mean, we have a different car for Kelvin de Groot. That's why I'm a little bit late. So we had an issue with Kelvin's car and before qualifying. And as we are running the whole organization, all the cars, the championship, our aim is always to have all cars on grid. And Matthias Killing is not driving today, so we had a car he could jump into. So we've swapped car, tires, all the other bits and bobs that needs to be done for Kelvin to have it, to be able to fight for a pole or good position for race 3. So yeah, all good. And I don't have a wheelchair. It's my...
No, it's not your wheelchair, no. Good sprint over here, though, still out of breath. Well done on that. We'll head back to qualifying. Enzo Holman to the provisional pole. His time, a 42.0, but quicker times coming in. Victor Nielsen, you missed that, I think, on your run here. He went into the back of Kelvin de Groot into turn 1 on their first push lap. So that new car for Kelvin de Groot, already some contact to that. But I think he should be all fine. Victor Nielsen, though, to that provisional pole with a 1:41.696. More towards the lap time that we expected yesterday, but the two of them once again working together. They have been doing this all season long, ever since round 1 at the Norris Ring. Kelvin de Groot and Victor Nielsen have been working together. This is not ideal,
it's like
though.
a race, Dan. They're racing at qualifying. This will for sure hamper their lap times. But isn't it a bit interesting, though? We can see Kelvin de Groot and Victor Nielsen. They are together again at qualifying. Have they agreed to help each other or not, do you think? Now Kelvin is pulling Victor Nielsen. Patricia, P3 at the moment. She's doing a stellar job out there, making sure she's getting a toe behind. Yeah, exactly. So Patricia, we can see she has a purple sector 1, quickest of everyone at the moment. And Kelvin de Groot obviously trying to overtake Chantal there in the slipstream. And yeah, this is a messy qualifying for these guys and girls here in this group.
Yeah, it was yesterday. We had a red flag and a full course yellow. None of that yet today, but my goodness me. This is, well, this is not ideal for a qualifying. And as a driver, Fredrik, you want that slipstream. But if you see this, isn't it just better to back off, just have your own lap and just get clean air, because this is not doing your lap time any favor. Patricia up the insides of the Axis car. That is the 8th of Chantal Fugel. But yeah, with that first sector, with the purple sector there.
Benjamin Massat is at the moment P1 1:41.5. That's a really good lap time from Benjamin Massatis in the Meccano. Linus Stjärnelund, second position. He's only 0.01 behind Benjamin Massatis. That is quickest at the moment, so really well done. Patricia didn't manage to put her whole lap together, so she had a good start to the lap, but lost in the second and third sector because of all the traffic.
Yeah, she's in that group, wasn't she?
Yeah, that was hampering her performance on that lap.
I have to say, though, I'm impressed by a lot of these drivers. The improvement you can see from these drivers throughout the weekend. Let's be honest, qualifying 1, it was messy. So far, they've been well behaved, even though they are in the traffic. Benjamin Mazzatis at the moment on the provisional pole. He hasn't taken a pole yet this season. And after an off yesterday in qualifying, what a comeback it would be for him to go to a pole position here today. However, he has to deal with a Victor Nielsen who's gone purple in sector 1. But it's good to see him up there.
He deserves it. I talked to him just before qualifying, and he has some points he's working on in the driving lines. He adjusted a specific qualifying setup on the car, so he has a different setup on the dampers, the tire pressures than he has in the races, and we can clearly see that it's working for him. This lap, though, not a really good lap, so he was overtaken by Enzo Holman in the beginning, and Victor Nielsen, purple sector in sector 1. Patricia, again, quickest in sector 2. She's really flying at this qualifying, Dan.
Yeah, indeed. And she said she had some improvements to make, especially in sector 1 and that middle sector. Looks like she's got that down. Look, a great tow for Patricia. She's behind Kelvin de Groot and Victor Nielsen. She's found herself in an amazing spot. This is what you need to do as a driver. P2 for Patricia Stalizzane, ahead of Victor Nielsen, who she was behind. Kelvin de Groot also in that group.
They are together, Victor Nielsen, Kelvin de Groot, Patricia Stalizzane with her Miele sponsoring. They're all in one cluster on the track at the moment, so they need to help each other, not disturb each other. This is really important. Lucas Stiefelhagen, P7 at the moment. He's just behind that leading pack of drivers. He's not really finding the speed. I mean, I say he's not finding the speed. He's 4/10 off in P7. It's super tight.
Sophie Hoffman, that's exit of turn 4 coming to her really quickly there, a little bit wide into 5, and that's not helping her line into 6 and 7 either, making it a lot tighter than it needs to be. If we look at that theoretical best time this session, Fredrik, it's a 41.1. The best time so far set by Enzo Holman of 41.5. 1:04. That's already quicker than we did yesterday in qualifying, so this track and the driver is clearly improving.
Yes, they are. They are learning, they are sleeping on it. It's a new day today. They all have new tires in the front as well, which is helping them perform really well. So we have no big improvements on this lap, except Patricia in the red car. She's chasing Calvin de Groot. She's quickest again, improving sector 2. She's got a really, really good toe behind Calvin de Groot in the ABB car that he is borrowing from Matthias Killing, our TV presenter. So will she manage to improve? She's 0.02 of a second behind Enzo Holman. Will she improve her lap time to clinch a pole position? She will be the first female driver to do it ever in NXT Gen Cup, and no, she cannot. But Victor Nielsen manages to improve. So there are 3 drivers within 0.04 of a second.
Goodness me, and two of them are in the same group as well. Calvin de Groot, we have to talk about him, Fredrik. Championship leader. He's been losing points to Victor Nielsen, the provisional pole sitter at the moment. And once again, he's down in 5th. Now, we have to say, overtaking very much possible in this championship and on this track. But a 5th starting position for Calvin de Groot, definitely less than optimal. And with the championship a lead for him dropping down to basically a race win, 30 points to Victor Nielsen. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen, and I mean, we must give it to Calvin. He's jumped a few minutes before this session. He jumped into a different car. I know the seat is not adjusted. Luckily, Matthias Killing has sort of similar length than Calvin de Groot. But he's doing a good job. But this is also what NXT Gen Cup is about. You know, the cars are identical. It shouldn't matter which car you are in. It's up to the driver to make the difference. And I think this session is proving that quite a lot. So Calvin de Groot, just as you mentioned it, he's got a purple sector 1. Patricia improving in sector 1 as well. The other one's not really. So this is really exciting qualifying.
What's Victor Nielsen going to do here? He's down on his own lap time as well. A 10th almost. He's down. Calvin de Groot further down on that. A 2.5 tenths. Patricia can't quite improve on her middle sector. Also down on that time though. So these 3 running line astern, all improving. This is the top 3. Maybe after this lap, Enzo Holman still finding his way in between the 3 of them. But Calvin de Groot needs an improvement with a purple sector 1. Can he snatch it away from Victor Nielsen? He's first across the line. Let's see what he does. Does improve his own lap time. Calvin de Groot improves further. Patricia Stalizzane, 0.05 of a second off of Calvin de Groot. She's found their pace, Fredrik. She's found their pace for that front group, overtaking Calvin de Groot now. They've changed the order in which they are running. Patricia now 2nd in that group, but Victor Nielsen still pulling that train along.
Patricia was really, really smart there, Dan. Did you see that? She managed to get a little bit of a gap in the beginning of that lap, and she used the slipstream at the end of the lap, the last 2 corners, and especially the last corner. She had a big toe where she really needs it. It's uphill, and that improved her. She's 0.05 of a second away from that pole position.
Yeah, Calvin de Groot on a provisional pole though with a 41.2. We've dropped down below the 41 mark with a theoretical best lap time. Do you think we're going to see a 40 in this session, Fredrik?
I mean, I don't think so, if I'm honest. You need to have that perfect slipstream, that perfect toe behind someone else. And now these groups have sort of separated a little bit. They don't have the toe now. I can see that Victor Nielsen and Calvin de Groot, they are still helping each other. So Patricia, she's a little bit lonely now, so she won't have that toe. And here you can see Enzo Holman helping Linus Schannelund, and Linus has a green sector 1. It's pretty good. It's a 51.59. Enzo and Linus are helping each other. Linus had a not so good second sector. Let's see what he can do here in the Schunk car, going out of the last corner up to the start-finish line. He's P6 at the moment, and he manages to gain 1 position to P5.
Goes past Benjamin Mazzatis. There's a yellow in turn 8. If I look on my track map, it looks like car 6 is stricken there. Jody Sloss had an off yesterday in qualifying. Another off for her today. We've gone to a red flag. That means time is stopped for this session. But another off for Jody Sloss this weekend. Fredrik, yeah, not her weekend so far.
I mean, she's improving. I had a chat with her yesterday, and every session she's been improving. And this is what it's all about. You have to remember, she's coming from GT cars, a lot of horsepower, rear-wheel drive, and here we have a front-wheel drive, small car, so it's quite a big difference. So here we go. Let's see what happened.
Oh, it's where we've seen it so often. And I think that's turn 8 at the bottom of the hill just before you go up. And, well, she's finding herself deep in that gravel, and there's no way of getting out of that once you're dug in there. So Jody Schloss will probably not resume this session. The standings at the moment with this red flag, though, there you go, red flag coming out, trying to put it out. Our marshals, always great to have them here at the racetracks, our volunteers. But Kelvin de Groot leads at the moment with this red flag coming out, 5 minutes and 52 seconds to go in this session. Patricia Stalizzane in P2, that will be her best starting position of this season, only 0.005 of a second off. This is how it's standing at the moment. Victor Nielsen in P3, Enzo Holman then in P4, Linus Schenelund in P5, Benjamin Mazatis in 6th, Niklas Bever in P7, our pole sitter from yesterday, finding himself down in P7, struggling at the moment, Frederick, 0.5 off. Lucas Stiefelhagen, also someone who seems to be struggling today. They might be two drivers who will help each other after that red flag trying to slipstream. Graham Hofmans in P9 ahead of Alexander Spetz, who rounds off the top 10. Once again, another good performance from our sim racer in P10, finding himself once again in the points-paying positions come race 1. Siri Höckfeldt in 11, Chantal Vugel in 12th, then Jody Schloss, who had that off in P13, causing that red flag. Philip Bartels in 14th, 15th for Sophie Hofmann, and Bennett Earl in P16. Here's the great area of Sachsen. Close to the Sachsenring with the campings close, and we have an official time that this session will be resumed. It's 09:03 local time. That's in about 1.5 minutes, Frederick. Once again, a red flag in qualifying. Once again, it's Jody Schloss who had an off. Yeah, I mean, what to say?
Ich will nur für die Zuschauer hier auf der Rennstrecke. Guten Morgen, alle Zuschauer hier auf Sachsenring. So, wir machen das zweite Qualifying für NXT Gen Cup, die voll elektrische Meisterschaft für Juniorfahrer. Der jüngste Fahrer ist 15 Jahre alt. Man kann teilnehmen, bis man 25 Jahre alt ist. Wir haben ein paar Gastfahrer. Gestern hat Matthias Killing ein Auto gefahren, das ABB-Auto. Und jetzt haben wir rote Flagge. Unsere skottische Frau Jody Schloss ist im Kies, im Kurve 10. Und sie ist jetzt weggeschleppt. Und die Session wird in 1 Minute wieder grün. Und dann haben wir noch 6 Minuten zu entscheiden, wem hat Pole Position für das dritte Rennen diese Wochenende, später am Mittag. So, jetzt sind Kelvin de Groot, der Championship führende Fahrer von den Niederländern, auf Pole Position, aber nur 5.000 von einer Sekunde in zweiter Position. Patricia Stalizzane, richtig gute Rundenzeiten von den Leuten. Der Sieger von gestern hat 2 Siege gemacht, Victor Nielsen. Platz 3 vor der schwedische Fahrer Enzo Hallmann, Platz 4. Und wir haben 6, 7, 8. Wir haben 9 Fahrer in 1 Sekunde. Richtig spannende Qualifying. Wir haben viel Sand und Kies auf der Rennstrecke von Jody Schloss jetzt, das wieder auf der Strecke ist. Aber jetzt fangen wir gleich los mit den letzten 5 Minuten von diesem Qualifying. Und jetzt haben wir grüne Flagge.
Yeah, look at that gravel that's out on track. It looks like in that corner, at least with the gravel out on track, you're not going to improve as it stands. Cars will run over that, they will clean up the track once again. Kelvin de Groot leading this session then. He is still in a pit lane, one of the last drivers to leave pit lane. Jody Schloss has also found her way back into pit lane. Do you think that Kelvin de Groot thinks this is all that's in there? I can't improve any further? Is that you think the reason he's staying in pit lane, or is he just giving it a 1 lap, Shao?
I don't know, to be honest.
He's out already, so we've got our answer. Yeah. We've got our answer already, Frederick.
Sorry there, I had no smart answer for you there. So Jody obviously in the pit lane, she's been dragged out of the gravel trap, but they need to clear some stones and stuff from the motor engine compartment, from the brakes, before she can go out on track again. So we've got 4 minutes and 40 seconds. So you can see our mechanics, you can see Stavros, our strongest mechanic that we have, opening the bonnet.
Iron Man.
Yes,
as we call
making
it.
sure, and I don't think they will let her out again. It's too much stones in that car at the moment. So 4.5 minutes, you can see Kelvin de Groot now, he's completely alone on track. No one to give him a tow, no one he can help. So that's not good. And you can see all the other drivers. Oh, he's catching up with the drivers now.
He thought
they're
it was
driving
on his own.
extremely slow, so that's good space awareness. And you can see they're trying to get a good grab. So Patricia in the red car, she will for sure follow Calvin. Lucas Stiefelhagen in the Bondix car also trying to follow Calvin. And they need to do this lap now. We have 4 minutes to go. They cannot waste another lap, another 2 laps trying to find a good position. Lucas Stiefelhagen in the Bondix car with his LKQ OG Fuels sponsoring. He needs to improve. He's in P8 at the moment, fighting for the top 3 positions in the championship. He needs to improve. He needs to get that toe. And Calvin de Groot, he's the first one into the second last corner. He has Stiefelhagen just behind him. Patricia is a little bit too far back, I think, to get a good toe from Stiefelhagen.
Oh, Calvin de Groot has run off! No, Kelvin! Well, off into the gravel goes Kelvin. Lucas Stiefelhagen also taking it slower. This is great for Victor Nielsen, though. He's now right up behind Patricia Stalizzane. Oh, Kelvin coming into the pits. Well, that's qualifying over for him, I think.
I think he gave up, if I'm honest. He don't want to give anyone else a toe. He knows he's in P1. Why is he going to go out there and risk something? He's hoping now, I think, it's on purpose for him to go into the pits, and he's hoping that no one else will improve now.
Yeah, once again, I think he's feeling the pressure this weekend, Fredrik. He's made much more mistakes. I mean, we haven't seen him make that many mistakes in the weekends before this. He was clean at the Nürburgring, flawless at the Nürburgring, we could say. There's that off moment once again. He does keep it going. He has the experience, and he knows what to do when this happens.
But the problem is Stiefelhagen. You can see Stiefelhagen was waiting to join Calvin to do that lap, and then he had to abort his sort of attack as well, and he is now sacrificing this lap. So yeah, you can see Calvin, it's like I suspected, he doesn't see a need to go out again. Also, we need to manage the battery and make sure we are not using too much energy, but clearly with that off, he knew that he would not be able to do another lap and then do another push lap. So, and here you can see Enzo Holman, it looks like he also was in the pits. He is using his pit speed limiter at the moment. That's why he has the yellow lights blinking like this. So I think he is out of energy. He doesn't have enough to keep pushing. So he's just going to do a very slow in-lap now. That's good of him to put his pit speed on and the blinkers to show everyone that he's slowing down. So I don't think we will see any big improvements at the moment. In Sector 1, we don't have any improvements at all. And I think this is going to be the grid, if I'm honest.
Yeah, we have 1 minute and 30 seconds left, though. And I have a feeling that Patricia Stalizzane, the 4 and the 50, have found each other if I look on my tracker. And I think those two are going to give Kelvin a good run for his money, at least, in this last lap. This will be your last shout coming across the line now. There's not much more time left. No, they both come into pit lane. I can see it out of the commentary booth. Patricia Stalizzane and Victor Nielsen both coming in. Enzo Holman, the only one then who can improve. But I don't think with the slow in-lap that he's doing, he will improve either. This is Lucas Stiefelhagen.
It's not his
the exact same moment as Calvin de Groot had.
And this is what we saw that Nicolas Bever did yesterday as well. So this
another off.
Also in the last corner.
Yeah. Oh, that's a late pit entry.
He might be a little bit in trouble for that.
Yeah.
Not using the correct way into the pit lane. So you can see Calvin, he's still on pole position. We've got 40 seconds to go of this qualifying session, but we don't see any improvements out there at all.
No, our timing screens are only grey, as they are for you at home on the left-hand side in the timing tower. No one improving. I think everyone also coming in. Once again, session interrupted by a red flag. If I look at our pit entry line, I think if you look, it's a wide line. I think Lucas might have been just about fine. Well then, I think we have our provisional grid with about 3 seconds left of this session. Everyone coming in. We have 4 cars still out on track. It's the 8 of Chantal Fugel, the 35 of Benjamin Mazatis, the 10 of Bennett Earl, who didn't have the qualifying he was hoping for. I think he's in P16. Did have a top 10 finish yesterday. And the 47 of Sophie Hofmann. They're all coming into pit lane. They are not improving. So I think we've set our grid for today then. Kelvin de Groot will start the race 1 from pole position as it stands. Patricia Starizzane with her best finishing position in qualifying of the season, her best grid position so far in P2. Victor Nielsen then in P3, both championship contenders, not on the front row together, but one behind the other going into turn 1. That could be spicy. Enzo Holman, who after yesterday's incidents, after start-finish, now has no limits, he says. He's going to be aggressive with his fighting in P4. Linus Schellund in P5. Then it's Benjamin Mazatis in P6. Good starting position for him. Niklas Bever not able to improve on that P7. Lucas Stiefelhagen, neither is he able to improve on his P8. P9 then for Graham Hofmans. Alexander Spetz in P10. Then Siri Högfeldt in P11. Chantal Fugel in 12. A qualifying that she will be more happy with. Jody Sloss once again having an off in qualifying, but managing to finish P13 with a personal best lap time this weekend. Philip Bartosz in P14. He won't be happy either. Sophie Hofman in P15 and Bennett Earl in P16. That was qualifying for today, Fredrik. We will be back at 12:15 local time here at the Sachsenring with race 1 of the Saturday, race 3 of the weekend. We'll continue now with DTM qualifying for this Sunday. Thank you for now and see you at 12:15 local time. Goodbye.